Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm here at Crypto Nation. Hey, if you're new here, it's totally free to subscribe and hit the like button for post notifications. And also, hey, this is another episode of Crypto Nation Reacts. Um, so what they're talking about on this episode is easiest way to make 1 million in crypto simply explained. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button for post notifications, and let's see on this episode of Altcoin Daily what they're talking about this episode. All right, let's get right onto it.
Of being wealthy if you watch this interview. Popular YouTuber and analyst Virtual Bacon shares his top strategies, favorite altcoins. If you want to make money in crypto, make sure you watch the entire thing. And make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily for daily crypto content just like this. Let's jump right into it. What is the best strategy to make money in crypto today? Like, people come into this market, they want to make money. If you were giving a friend advice, what would you say is the best way for somebody to make money in crypto?
I think, especially if you're coming in now, it's actually quite easy because of the time we are in, because of this long bleed that we have had. You can actually just go back to the drawing board and start from the top and allocate yourself in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and just understand those and build conviction in those, especially because actually a lot of people have lost conviction in these three assets this year, which is really unfortunate time, but the market just gives nobody an easy lunch. And so I think if I were to recommend a friend of mine to come into crypto, build your portfolio largely in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. At this point, they have been down significantly since Q1 this year. And then after that, find a few narratives and sectors that have done well in the mini bull run that we had in Q4 and Q1 23, 24, and then just allocate to mid to large caps in those categories, because those have still quite good returns from current levels because of how much of chop we had this year. I don't think you need to look at very low caps at the moment.
Appreciate that straightforward advice. And as my questions get, lower and lower down coin market cap, you say that you think Ethereum's story is not over. People are fading Ethereum right now. But are you more bullish on Bitcoin or Ethereum going forward? How do you think about it?
Ooh, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. I think I'm kind of torn. I don't think Ethereum will necessarily outperform Bitcoin at this point. It probably will be a kind of fluctuation. If you look at the ETH versus BTC chart, like the ratio, it's kind of hard to argue that that ratio will reach all-time highs again, because that's a kind of a big gap at this point. And as Bitcoin grows more and more, because Ethereum is not going to die, first of all, because it has reached institutional status adoption. But we even see more recently, like a lot of these demands coming from institutions, they are heavily leaning towards Bitcoin. And some of these guys, like I think VanEck even made an announcement that they don't have enough demand for their Ethereum ETF or something. So I think the status is there. Ethereum is very safe in regulators' eyes, etc. But comparatively speaking, Bitcoin will just keep sucking up a majority of the liquidity. And then the ratio of Ethereum versus Bitcoin, it's hard to catch up. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Bitcoin versus Ethereum, if you really had to pick one, I'd probably pick Bitcoin at this point. But then again, you can't really replace Ethereum anymore. So I think safe to say just have both. But yeah, Ethereum is, I really wish it has been able to perform like expected.
And thinking about Ethereum competitors, either other L1s or even Ethereum L2s, so I guess just like dApp platforms in general, what are other L1s or L2s that you really believe in, that you're bullish on going into 2025?
So I think the saga of Solana is definitely not over. It's one thing to say that, Solana is very performant, but there are other chains that are performant. And you can manipulate price or, like have a narrative run up. You can do that to many different L1s, but the adoption number, and especially the kind of stories of new retail coming in Q1 of this year into Solana, we have never seen before outside of Ethereum. I remember it's kind of like a mini DeFi summer, but just like meme coin spring on Solana. And it happened. I've never heard people actually downloading an app in crypto and it's Phantom wallet instead of MetaMask, or Coinbase. So That has happened. That has never happened before outside of Ethereum. So I think Solana will still be very dominant in the retail adoption. When it comes to other layer ones, my stance is like you either have to be able to replicate some of the success that Solana has had in retail. So you need to have the user base already, or you are a L1 that has superior tokenomics and your token just does superbly well, even if you don't really have as many users. So out of those, I think obviously people are already onto Ton. Ton is the first case, having that user base already. Base is very interesting, obviously, because of smart wallets and how they integrate Coinbase users directly. And then you have like L1s, like with just very strong tokenomics. Caspa, everyone knows the Fair's launch with no pre-mine, having supplies. Just kind of go in those two directions. Yeah, I think those are kind of what I'm looking at for layer ones.
Interesting. It seems like your heart and mind and wallet is with Solana, though. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, when it comes to both sides, like having the tokenomics and the users and actually challenging Ethereum, like it's Solana.
And yeah, I saw a recent video you put out. Very good. It was something like you're more bullish on Solana than ever, and you gave a 2025 Solana price prediction. Can you kind of walk us through like the catalysts, I guess, you think it's going to take?
When we got to Calgary, we saw something happening here.
We've been developing new tech for 15 years.
Met a lot of talented Calgary.
Solana and to what price you're thinking?
Yeah, so first of all, like Breakpoint is just coming up right after Singapore last week of September. And usually around Breakpoint, they accumulate a year of announcements. So last year we saw Solana have a run up as well. That will be a catalyst, whatever they're upgrading. And Firedancer is right about to come. And even though like I think people kind of misread what Firedancer is, people say it's a kind of next stage of scaling. But at this point, like scaling is not an issue for Solana anymore. More recently, like especially with ZK compression, I think Anatoly already did the calculations. You can put all the transactions that you can make in terms of DeFi, etc., on every chain onto Solana. As long as you do compression, it's already supported. So scaling is not the issue. It's more of like running Solana completely decentralized and more resilient. And we have seen that already turning around for Solana this year. Like there was only one downtime, I think, the whole year, like one day, better than 2023, and 2023 was better than 2022. They're clearly improving. And then Firedancer will only add on top of that because currently the only decentralization problem on Solana now is client decentralization. They only have two clients, one from Solana Labs and another from Gto, but they're both based on Rust programming language. And so if Rust has a critical bug, both clients go down and nobody can run the software. So Firedancer, they're building using a completely different tech stack, completely different programming language. So then once you have that, Solana really becomes just as decentralized as Ethereum. The validator count and the staking pools, the amount of stake split across validators is all already there. Yeah, so I think a lot to look forward to for Solana. And coming up next year, I think once it's able to solve this last point of decentralization, potentially ETFs. Currently, like those ETFs are kind of getting a lot of pushback, but I think it could come. And that's kind of the end all to push Solana to the top 3 status.
And let's say things in the Solana ecosystem goes right. Those things do go well, and Solana continues to onboard users and dApps. What is the price prediction you're thinking?
I think around $800. That's my, I don't remember if it's optimistic or like conservative based on the supply. I think that's 600 million for total supply by end of 2025. So it's like 4 point, I can't do math right now, but
you think 800?
Yes, that I think the calculation was out of Solana keeping the same total market share of all crypto, which is around like 5%. So 10 trillion based on Bitcoin hitting somewhere around 200K. So then as long as Solana keeps its current adoption curve, it's able to reach there.
Cool. Let's talk about.
Yeah, I'll say me personally I'll say about next summer, this summer of 2025, at the height of the bull run, right before everything starts to go back down and crash for the next bear market, I'll say that Solana is about 800 to 1,000. Solana definitely is going to be one of the top blockchains going into the 2024-25 run. But Solana's already proved itself over the last 3 years, in the so-called bear market. But anyways, let's continue here.
About other maybe lower cap altcoins that you're bullish on, and I just give you an open-ended question. You can take it wherever you want. There's a lot of quality narratives in the space today. There's AI, there's DeepIn, there's gaming. I don't know which verticals you're more bullish on. You said earlier that if you get into some of the the higher caps in these verticals, you think they're going up. What are the altcoins that you like that are undervalued?
Yeah, so I think for the first time in 1 year, we actually have price differences across these verticals. You can find truly the coins that have held up well in the past 6 months. So the main verticals, is honestly, I think you need to go obvious because everything is down. So just take the most obvious coins that whenever you talk about it, people understand, people like those narratives. To me, those are AI. Decentralized AI is super important. Everyone knows. Gaming with gaming assets, in-game items, etc. That's still the clearest adoption curve. And then memes, they will still have their place, looking at what happened this year. And then layer one we talked about. And then the other one that I think a lot of people are underestimating is RWAs. Even though people don't use the word RWA as much when talking about narratives, when you look at the performance of all the RWA coins since October, November last year, most coins outperformed AI coins. This is pretty shocking to me. I'm not even talking about Ondo or Mantra, those super high market cap ones. Even the smaller ones that people used to not care about at all. I think I had a list of 9 coins that I looked at. 8 out of 9 have done 8 to 10x to the peak and then kept 3 to 5x gains since last November. That was pretty shocking to me. So those are the 5 narratives I'm positioning in. And I think RWA is kind of really under the radar right now.
Interesting. And then if you were to pull out a few specific altcoins in any one of those narratives, what would you say?
So I think super obvious one, Super in gaming. If you look at all of the most trendy gaming coins, Super is the only one that has kept more than 3 to 4x gains and held up support. Everything else, even the strongest ones like Prime, Beam, they have done about 2.5x since November, but they retraced a lot. And I think that comes from supply control. They're good, but they do a little bit too much and too many partnerships. Super, I talk to Elio a lot. He's super focused on controlling supply and making sure if you're not contributing, if you're not core holder, we don't want you in this. So I think that's really showing over the past 11 months that they are the only gaming coin that's held up the floor. In AI, I'm looking at mainly decentralized AI networks now, not so much DeepIn. I think that narrative is getting saturated. So decentralized AI, I think BitTensor finally, it's looking very attractive. Yeah, and then the similar projects, there's the ASI, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, the Fetch AI merger. I think that one's pretty under the radar because of majority of the token supply is out. Yeah, I think those are kind of some of the strongest ones I've seen.
Did I get these 3 right? Super for gaming, BitTensor for decentralized AI, and then was ASI another pick?
Yeah.
That's AI as well.
Yeah.
As we're wrapping up with some of my final questions, I want to, encourage our audience to go subscribe to you. I think you put out great work. Another, kind of a big picture, how to best do well in the crypto market. I asked you earlier, what's the best strategy to kind of make money in crypto? Now let's talk about the fact that a lot of people lose money in crypto. Everybody tries to make money. So many people end up losing money. I like to think my audience is a little bit more advanced and profitable, and I think yours is too. What crypto investing mistakes should people avoid if they want to get rich?
So I think very practical right now is don't trade too much, especially at this pivotal stage. We're just about to see the rate cuts happen. We're potentially witnessing the first couple months of the bull run. It's the last bit of uncertainty. So if you trade too much, each dollar I lose, I think of it like losing $10 for the next year, because I know the coins that I have conviction in, and if, instead of losing that $1 in a trade, if I just put it in and hold it for a year, that should be worth on average $8 to $10 by the end of the bull run. So have that mindset. Why would I still keep trading at this such an important like capital conservation stage. And then the other is you got to protect your psychology. So many people have been burnt this year with over trading, with the choppy market, that they're now giving up at the worst time possible. So I think another side effect of over trading is like you kind of lose the hope and the conviction that you have for long term. So if you're finding that and you're getting mad for no reason on your bags going down, just like stop, like take a breather. And going into October, November, Q4 this year, things should start to look up again. And you want to keep some of your sanity so you can come back with the same enthusiasm.
Falling in love with your coins, yes or no?
Depending on which coins. I think people should keep falling in love with like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Salana. That's good. I think right now, if you're still in love with those bags, you have conviction. And I think that's good for good advice. Not all coins though, right? Especially newer coins that have just come around in 1 year, maximum 2 years. Things come and go if you haven't gone through multiple cycles.
I like that. And please plug yourself. Tell our audience what you're doing, what you focus on in your channel.
Yeah, so I have been in crypto for at this point like 7th year, very heavy, and I do a lot of investing, but I also do a lot of educational content. You can find me on YouTube, my Twitter. I'm very active there as well.
Cool, dude. Thank you so much, Virtual Bacon.
All right, that concludes that episode. Yeah, he gives some pretty. I thought that was some pretty good advice he gave. About making making money in the market and losing money. I know I lost my share of money, but when I guess doing the right thing. But we can always learn, how to become better. Crypto traders. Short and long term. You know what I mean? But yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That's the concludes this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for post notifications. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.